Sawasdee Krap, and good afternoon. Today is Monday, the 29th of March, 2021, and this is the English language summary of the daily press briefing here at the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or CCSA, as always. So first of all, thank you to Dr. Apisamai, who gave us the Thai language summary. She mentioned about a couple of important issues. For example, the one particular province had actually broken the egg, so to speak, meaning that they found their first case of COVID in that province. Not anymore in a zero number. So breaking the egg, making it the first case. Also, the new cluster that we found in Sapan Soong district in Bangkok. And then she ended also with the issue about stigmatization, that we have to be careful about stigmatizing or discriminating against people who are COVID positive or who are at risk. So I'll go into the information and details of that in a little while. First of all, I'll start with the numbers that we have recorded for today. We have new confirmed cases for today as 39 new cases recorded for today. Out of that number, 39, 16 are from local transmission, 12 cases are from active case finding, and 11 from within the state quarantine system, as you can see on screen. So an important figure there is 1,366 in the green box on top of the infographic that we have in green. So that is the active case. The case is currently being treated currently. We have 74 new recoveries recorded for today, and no extra death or fatality today. So the accumulated number of fatalities remains at 94. But mind you, of course, that we don't have the daily press briefing every day, and we have recorded a couple of fatalities in the past days over the weekend as well. But in any case, the cumulative number total at the moment, as of today, is 94. So moving to some of the observations from the information provided by Dr. Apisamai. Firstly is that the province of Kalasin had actually found their first case of COVID. So previously they were at zero, no cases at all since the very beginning. And now they found their first case. The index case, or the first case in this province, is actually a result of an extension of the cluster from Bangkhae district in Bangkok. So on the 22nd of March 2021, this particular individual traveled from Bangkhae by air flight and then by bus back to Kalasin province. And that was on the 24th of March. And by the 27th of March, this person was hospitalized and detected with COVID positive. So that's about Kalasin as an extension of the Bangkhae cluster. And Bangkhae cluster actually has now spread to around 11 provinces across the country. So another cluster is the one in Sapan Soong district, or Sapan Soong market in Bangkok. And the index case, the case arising from this cluster is an individual who was a meat vendor in the Sapan Soong market and was selling meat in Pathum Thani province purchased meat from Pathum Thani province and sold the meat in a market in Sapan Soong, so the Sapan Soong market. He also infected his spouse, his wife, and his wife was found on the 27th of March. And people at risk that the individual has been in contact with totaled 7 people. But of course, the authorities are looking into this case and trying to contain this case. Nevertheless, the numbers that you see remain sort of stable. We have 39 cases that you have heard today. More recoveries than new cases, at least for today. So, as you might know, have found in the news over the weekend, is that the number of the countries that are exempt from the that are not included in the new 10-day quarantine measures. So as I've mentioned before, that the quarantine period for those arriving in Thailand have been approved to be shortened to 10 days and will be effective starting from the 1st of April 2021. So nevertheless, the Department of Disease Control further announced that there are 11 countries that will be excluded from this 10-day quarantine as there had been reports of the COVID new variant mutations. And these 11 countries would still have, people arriving from these 11 countries will still have to be quarantined for 14 days, not 10 days. And these countries, as you see on screen, are South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, Zambia, Kenya, Rwanda, Cameroon, DR Congo, Tanzania, and Ghana. So arrivals from these countries will have to still be required to undergo the 14-day quarantine when arriving in Thailand. And for the rest of the other arrivals from other countries, it would be shortened to 10 days. And mind you that this is not nationality based, it's from the country that passengers arrive from. And of course, this list would be updated, will be possibly updated in due course as well, according to the situation and the spread of the variant, strain, or mutation of COVID. But as of now, we have these 11 countries. Please take note also that this measure that I mentioned is different from the tourism sandbox scheme, which will be applied to Phuket and other major tourism provinces in the coming months. Provinces such as Krabi, Phang Nga, Koh Samui, Pattaya, and Chiang Mai. And after the appropriate measures are in place, these provinces will be allowing vaccinated tourists to fly directly into the province without having to undergo any quarantine. So Dr. Pisamai and myself, I mentioned about the Songkran measures in the past briefings. I'll recap that a little bit here. Actually, quite good news for those looking forward to celebrate Songkran. So the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration has announced that, of course, Songkran will be allowed to be celebrated. It's scheduled for the 10th to the 15th of April, but must be observing 3 strict measures to control COVID. So according to the BMA, religious ceremonies and the tradition of Rot Nam Dam Hua, or paying respects to the elderly, can proceed as usual. So organizers of other activities must submit an event plan and disease control measures to the local district office before holding the events. At the same time, food catering or lengthy eating and socializing in large groups should be avoided. Violations of these guidelines may be subject to for the violators to 2 years imprisonment or a fine of up to 40,000 baht or both. So once again, we here at the CCSA encourage you to always wear your mask, wash your hands, and follow the DMHTT principles, measures during the Songkran period. Now, another piece of information, quite interesting for the English language audience, is that 5 tourism areas are to be piloted as safety zones for tourists. So as the government has recently approved the plan to promote safe tourism, the tourism department's plan actually has announced 5 areas across the country in this pilot campaign. These include Bang San Beach in Chonburi for nature tourism, Nan Old Town in Nan Province for urban tourism, Ban Rai Khong King community in Chiang Mai for community-based tourism, Yawarat neighborhood in Bangkok for as shopping, it's the Chinatown of Bangkok, and Asiatique, the riverfront by Chao Phraya River for man-made attractions. And to ensure the safety of tourists, these attractions will come up with a risk management plan in case of unexpected situation, while all vendors and surrounding communities will also be trained on COVID-19 safety measures to provide visitors with assistance when needed. And practices developed at these 5 pilot areas will later on be reviewed and adopted as models for other tourism areas around the country. So just before closing, ending my briefing today, I'd like to take this opportunity just to introduce a colleague who will be alternating or interchanging with me in the English language briefing, perhaps a couple of times a month. I'd like to introduce Kun Pen Som Lerth Sithichai here for you on screen to say hello for you on screen. Yes, Kun Pen Som is the director of the news division of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Information Department. The division actually follows up on news in the international media and Thai news as well. And she'll be interchanging and alternating with me from time to time. For this week, Kun Pen Som here will be beginning her debut in the English language briefing in my place on Wednesday and Friday. Yes, so thank you very much. So finally, I'd just like to end today's briefing with an infographic from the World Health Organization. I believe we have that coming on screen. Yes, this infographic is about how to stay safe in an area of widespread transmission. And remember that an open space is safer, observing social distance is safer, and will all also keep us safe from COVID. Of course, the less time you spend with others, the safer you'll be from the virus. So please be mindful of that. So with that note, thank you very much for your attention today, and have a great working week ahead. Thank you very much for your attention from the CCSA. Stay safe. สวัสดีครับ
กราบขอบพระคุณค่ะท่านณัฐพานุ นพคุณรองอธิบดีกรมสารนิเทศและรองโฆษกกระทรวงการต่างประเทศนะคะและเมื่อสักครู่ท่านก็ได้มีการแนะนำนะคะสำหรับผู้ช่วยที่จะมาสลับสับเปลี่ยนในการแถลงข่าวภาคภาษาอังกฤษนะคะคุณเพ็ญโสมเลิศสิทธิชัยนะคะผู้อำนวยการกองประมวลและวิเคราะห์ข่าวนะคะกรมสารนิเทศกระทรวงการต่างประเทศค่ะซึ่งสัปดาห์นี้เนี่ยคุณเพ็ญโสมก็จะมาสลับสับเปลี่ยนในการแถลงข่าวภาคภาษาอังกฤษในวันพุธและวันศุกร์นะคะแล้วก็ถือว่าเป็นการต้อนรับบุคลากรที่มีคุณภาพแล้วก็ทีมงานสบคอีก1ท่านค่ะและทั้งหมดนี้ก็คือการแถลงข่าวจากศูนย์บริหารสถานการณ์โควิด -19 จากที่ทำเนียบรัฐบาลดิฉันปวีณา ฟักทองพร้อมทีมงานลาไปก่อนนะคะสวัสดีค่ะ